I mean, I consider myself an anarcho-feminist, but you could be an anarchist, you could be a punk, you could be a radical, you could be, I don't really care, it doesn't matter. But what does parenting or childcare or child raising from the non-dominant paradigm, like what does that look like? And so that's what this is going to be, and I want to say that even though I consider myself an anarcha-feminist or anarchist parent, it doesn't mean that I advocate permissiveness, you know? And one of the things that I really want to talk about is like, kids really do need structure. They need limits and they need to be kept safe, you know? But how can we do that in a way that's not domineering or authoritative, right? Kind of thing. So I'm Kaylee, and this is Luca, and he's 1. And my only kid, first, last, only, never doing that again. I've always worked with kids. My mom's a preschool teacher, and I've tutored kids and stuff like that. And actually, and like becoming a parent really sort of it re-radicalized me. Like I realized that I had to like actually live my politics. Like I couldn't say that I believe these things without really looking at them and thinking about what it actually meant. Like what am I going to show him about the way that I want the world to be or the way that I want to present myself, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's kind of from that. Like I got involved with Anarcha LA, which we have a table with a bunch of literature over there. And then also from that, I started the childcare, which I do childcare at events. So if any of you guys have events or whatever, you know, we'll come and do childcare, and which is like drop off or hang out. And there's a sign up sheet. I probably have one somewhere. One thing that I want to say is just in the projects that we do, like you'll hear that there's like a handful of parents, but a lot of you who don't have kids, and I really encourage people who don't have kids to step in and help those who do whenever possible, you know. And I'll say for myself, don't be afraid, like, am I going to intrude on their space? If the baby's crying, like, is it wrong for me to come in? And, you know, just try and be mindful and considerate. But, you know, we, like Vicky was saying, like, sometimes we feel like we're going crazy, and it's nice to get help. So those of you who don't have kids, learn, you know, and the only way to learn is jump in and do it. So kind of what I want to talk about real quick is I kind of identified 4 goals of an anarchist parent. So they may not be your goals, but these were sort of mine that I saw. I'm part of the anarchist parenting listserv, which I can give you guys information about that. No, go get it. And
come here, Luca.
I'll snuggle you. And anyway, so the 4 goals that I have, let's look at our goals. I wrote them down. I've got a whole bunch of literature too for you guys. So the first goal, and these are sort of like also sort of my goals as an anarchist, right? So the first one is accepts freedom and responsibility and has the ability to self-regulate. Can you read them right here? It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll be right back. Where are we?
I read them all.
Accepts freedom and responsibility, has the ability to self-regulate, has self-love and respect for others, is not fearful of the world and its citizens, and challenges gendered hierarchy and heterosexism. So, so those are my 4 goals. I'm going to hand out some literature here for you guys to take. Start with this one. If you don't want it, don't take one. So I wrote this, which is just sort of like going over those goals. And really, like, the point of it was to find out, so what are some concrete ways that we can achieve them, right? So if the first one is accepts freedom and responsibility and has the ability to self-regulate, so one thing is, like, I trusted my kid. So he's 1, right? And I trust him and have trusted him ever since he's born to tell me when he needs to eat. when he needs to sleep, when he needs his diaper changed, when he needs me to play with him, when he needs me to hold him, those sorts of things, right? And as he gets older, his needs are going to become more complex. Kids actually, like, they let you know when they need to eat. They let you know when they need to sleep. And I think that the dominant paradigm suggests that we should put kids on a schedule, that they ought to eat more at certain times, they ought to eat less at certain times, that as they get older, they should eat 3 meals a day, 1 snack, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And so really, I start from now to trust him that he'll eat when he's hungry, and he won't eat when he's not hungry. And I'm not going to force him to eat anything that he doesn't want to. And I'm not going to force him to go to bed. If he's not sleepy, that's that. That being said, I feel like he benefits from having a structure. And so, for example, with him, like 8 o'clock, we take a bath, you know, we hang out for a little bit, we have a bottle, and then he goes to bed. And he's like fallen into this, but what I did was I listened to him, and the routine was born not out of, I want this fool to be asleep by 8 so that I can go do things. This is the time that he gets sleepy. And so we've kind of worked together to establish a routine, you know, by me listening to what he needs when he needs it, and then sort of starting to set more of a structure for him. One thing in this, is that a lot of people are really worried, like, your kid isn't going to get enough vegetables, right? So you got to eat all of your vegetables so that you can have dessert. And putting bribes and stuff on food, it just seems, I mean, like, I wonder how many of us have fucked up relationships with food. I'm going to guess the majority of us, right, have had at some point in our life trouble with food. And that's because our understanding of what is nutritious and what is good for us and what makes our bodies feel good, we were taught not to listen to that, right? We were taught you have to eat all of this so that you can have this, and you have to do this so that, you know what I'm saying? And so really sort of trusting kids, there's been studies, of course I don't have anything in front of me, but I know there's been studies that show that over a span of, say, a week, children will ultimately choose, they may eat all Doritos on Monday, but by the end they'll have balanced it out because they listen to what their bodies are asking of them, you know? So it's really, that's been really important for me. An important piece about this is assigning moral judgments to actions. So when we tell kids that something they do is bad and something that they do is good, we're assigning, you know, a moral judgment. And sometimes they just don't realize, like, what they're doing, how it affects someone. So maybe, you know, say my kid punches Pankit kid in the mouth. He's not doing it because he's an asshole, because he's bad, because he's inherently, you know, like, fucked up, right? He's doing it because he didn't know. You just say, like, what you're doing, that hurt so-and-so, right? Instead of moralizing it, it just seems like that really, doesn't it kind of set you up for a lifetime of confusion? You're always trying to figure out, like, my morals and your morals, and